I'm not record yet. Start the show tonight. Hello, Jack. Thanks for joining. Sarah reminded me to set up the space really nice, so I saw her lighting her candles. So I went and put some incense. If you guys want to light some candles or make some tea, we're gonna get started here pretty quickly. Oh, Courtney, cool. I see you. You're over there.
Hi.
Hi.
Am I too far away?
I think you're fine.
Can you see, like, when I share my screen? I don't know that if you're going to be able to see the screen.
I have most of this memorized. It's okay.
Okay. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So it should be good then. Wow, look at that
Yay.
spread.
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
Can you tell us what you got going on there? What are all these instruments in front of you?
Okay, so these are the crystal bowls, and they represent the 7 embodied chakras and the 7 of the 9 solfegeal tones and the rainbow. So this is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And that correlates to our holy instrument, our body. So
Oh yeah,
when I play the bowl, it'll resonate with those body bits.
What are the metal bowls in the front there?
Oh, these are therapeutic grade metal bowls that are tuned. This one is the root, and this is the sacral, and this is the solar. And this one over here is the crown.
I need to turn that up. And you guys might want to have like earbuds in when we get to the sound bath part.
How does that sound when you hear those vibrations?
Well, my shoulders like automatically relaxed. So that was nice. Yeah.
And this is a rain stick. So you'll hear that.
Wow.
And that goes for the acoustic sounds, which will pull you into your parasympathetic nervous system. All these instruments are geared to pull you out of fight, flight, freeze, and fawn and into your calm parasympathetic nervous system, which we tend to run on the other end a lot in our society. And these special drums right here, Sarah and Robbie made me. So this rhythm.
So there's
So these frequencies are just a rhythm, a speed, and each one is a different speed, and they correlate to the Schumann resonance and our brain, our waking and sleeping brain waves. So when I play these, it's just going to oscillate through your whole brain. Is going to get this extraordinary massage, and so is your subtle body. And when you play the drums, look at this nice one. Sarah and Robert maybe this one too. That's a beauty. It's extraordinary. And then I have a little panda drum over here. Which is just quite lovely. And then this right here is a water chime, and it's tuned to the heart, the F, the key of F, and it holds the entire solfegeal scale within it. So when you play it, it tunes your whole body. Pretty cool. And this is an atomic gong, and it's tuned to the atmosphere, so or the galaxy, the universe. So it goes way out, and it has these extraordinarily deep intervals, these huge intervals, these big long ripples. And So the Schumann resonance is normally 7.83, which is a base of, I think it's a B minor. And then it spikes up, and it's been spiking up into like 90, 110, 150 even on some days. And that's when the earth gets like supercharged.
And how do you track that? I know you're always like, oh, the resonance is going up, it's going down.
You can check it every day.
Oh, okay.
And usually,
I guess you just Google it.
yeah, you'll tend to know when the earth charges up. It'll charge up and it'll get these huge Schumann spikes, and then we'll get a flat line like the next day. So that's the charge and the discharge of the universe, and that's how the whole entire universe is.
Wow.
How the animals make sounds. It's how our energy system is set up. Pretty cool.
Cool. I have prepared some slides after talking with Courtney and doing a little bit of my own research. We have some visual aids for you guys for tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to share my slides. Let's see. And just let me know if you guys can see my screen. Share screen. First slide. Yeah. All right. Are you guys seeing my screen here? Flower moon?
Uh-huh.
Good. All right, cool. So this is the flower moon. It's also known as the mother's moon. And I really like the name of that. And I picked Courtney for this because she is such an awesome mother. When I was kind of coming up with the theme for the whole year, the flower moon or the mother's moon really jumped out at me. I knew I wanted to do something with sound and with Courtney, and I was like, this will be it. And she was available, so we're so lucky to have her today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I also think it's really kind of synchronistic because I'm going to be selling sound healing devices this summer in Colorado. I got accepted in the Renaissance Festival. And so my business partner and my sound healing teacher who wrote this book here, Singing with, How to Heal with Singing Bowls, it's his birthday today.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's so cool.
Isn't that weird? So, and I broke my foot, so I've been using a lot of the sound healing. It's just like, oh, this is the perfect time for me personally to be diving into this topic. So
Yeah, the way the universe synchronizes.
it really is. So, and you know, I didn't really come up with these topics per se. I was using the Pagan Wheel of the Year, the Sabbats and Eswits, the moon and the sun calendar to kind of guide me. And this is kind of just how it happened. I just think that's really awesome when the universe works, right?
It is.
So our last moon we talked about last month was the journey moon. We talked about plant medicines, and in the Wheel of the Year, it's a good time when people come out of hibernation. They're refueled by all the spring nutrients, and they're ready to travel. And now the mother's moon is we're coming into. You're seeing all these little animals running around with their babies, little geese and goslings, and little, you know, eggs and nests and hatching.
Yeah.
So bunnies, you know. But lots of fruition. This is a very abundant time of year. So like all the fruits, all the vegetables are all growing and so much abundance. Like it's very easy to live right now. It's like summertime and the living's easy, right? So that's what the mother's moon is about. It's about abundance and just like believing that they're in this endless source of resources, you know, not getting stuck in the scarcity mindset. So our tarot cards are going to be the world, abundance, and fruition. The moon, spiritual growth, So it's also like a feminine quality. The moon is usually a very feminine quality, whereas the sun is more masculine quality. And then we have our sixes, which are peak experiences. So looking at vegetables and things that were, oh, you know what? Liana's trying to get in. Hi, Liana.
I don't even have a link yet, and I registered before.
I sent links everywhere. It's all over the internet. Let me see.
The link that you put on Facebook just took me to a registration page again. It's not a direct link. I need the link that opens up Zoom, not that asks you to register again.
Okay.
So, and Cheryl said she can't get in either.
Ah, okay.
Mine kind of did that too. I had to like upload a certain like app.
I re-registered.
Yeah, I had to call in reinforcement, which was Bradley Rayfield.
I've got.
Yeah, I added. I made a new registration.
This wouldn't have happened without him.
Hearing it, Emiliana?
Vaguely.
See if you can get in the link I just texted you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will see what happens.
All right, cool. We've got a couple people trying to get on, folks. Just waiting. We can get Cheryl and Emiliana in here shortly. So how many planets are in retrograde right now? I think like 7.
5.
5, okay. Plus we got today was a solar eclipse, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The sun, the moon, and the earth are all in alignment. Technically, we could all float away through anti-gravitational forces.
Okay, Liana and Cheryl. Okay. I'm gonna email this to you and Cheryl. Hopefully that works. We are recording too, so hopefully this will be, can catch everybody up on the recording.
Hi.
Huh, I wonder if there's people in the waiting room that I don't see. Sorry, guys. I mean, so far everybody's popped up when they come in and I just let you in. All right, I'm gonna just continue on it. Hopefully they can catch up on here in here. Okay, where were we? So moving on to the astrology of things, like we mentioned, the planets are in retrograde. There was an eclipse. So cool little fun fact: whenever there is a solar or a lunar eclipse, it's on the full moon. There's always going to be one on the new moon to follow. They come in pairs, so that's kind of neat.
What comes in pairs?
Eclipses, solar and lunar eclipses. So on the full moon we had a lunar eclipse, and now on the new moon we have a solar eclipse.
So cool.
Really cool. Also, at the sunset is the same as like on a full moon. The moment of the sunset is the same as the sunrise. So you can actually watch the sunset and the sunrise at the same time. On full moons. And then when it's a new moon, when the sun sets, you can't see the moon because it's like with the sun. You just can't see it on new moon times.
It's like it's like levels out.
Mm-hmm. So we're in Gemini season. Geminis are very adaptable, and yay. Hopefully we're all adaptable enough to get through this technical stuff. All right, so join us, thankfully. Welcome, Cheryl.
The Fibonacci sequence is introduced in music to allow change in our life.
Ooh. Well, Gemini is like the communicator too, so I thought that would be good for sound, being sound this month in Gemini's month. Of course, Cancer is like the home body and the children and the mother. That's also going to be approaching here soon. Yay, Ileana's here. Yay. Okay, we got everybody in here. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. All right, so we're in this super unbounded abundance time of the year. It's summertime, the living season, where there's fullness, richness everywhere, there's opportunities everywhere. Nobody's struggling. This is a really good time of the year to be alive and to be a plant or an animal, because there's just so much abundance everywhere. And so that's kind of what we're bringing into this month. So new moons, we kind of set intentions, and this is the mood of the moon, or the mood of the month. So the full moon in Sagittarius will be, of course, in 2 weeks. It'll be on a Thursday, also June 24th. It'll be in Sagittarius. I do have a campsite reserved at Assateague on the beach for anyone who's local.
Sarah, isn't that your birthday?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Sarah's birthday.
Totally. You guys, I know you don't like camping, Sarah, but if you want to have like a little bonfire at the beach there at the boathouse, that's an idea. I can't commit myself. I would love to. I really want to watch the full moon rise. And I'm going to try to make it, but I'm also leaving the very next day for Colorado, and there's a retreat that weekend I'm presenting at, so it's just a lot to do, and I also have a broken foot, so. Right. But the strawberry moon, I like this art. It's also called the honeymoon, the lover's moon. So last month in May, we had Beltane, which is traditionally when people would get married. It's a solar holiday rather than an aspect or a lunar holiday. And then the following month would be their honeymoon, and that's where the term honeymoon comes from. It's the month after Beltane, which is when people would get married. So that's what your lover's moon or your honeymoon and your strawberry moon is all about.
Aww.
I have some lovers here. Ileana, you're having a little jam tomorrow night, I understand, to celebrate your love.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so that'll be out at Coops tomorrow night. Ileana and her partner James are celebrating 16 years, and they're gonna do a concert.
Oh, happy anniversary.
So that's a lovely little way of sound, enjoying a little concert. Coming up, we also have Litha, one of the major holidays or Sabbaths in the 8-spoked wheel of the pagan calendar. It's the summer solstice. It falls on a Sunday this year, June 20th, longest day of the year. So every day we get a little more sunshine until June 20th, and then it starts to wane. A lot of ancient monoliths and places are aligned with this date. Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, Chichen Itza in Mexico, Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, all these places have this alignment. So this was such an important thing to know, is like, when is the sun at its peak, and then when does it start going down? So it's a really good time to clean your altars, to freshen up, to change your decor or what have you. I like to do this probably about 4 times a year, once a season. But time to get out the summer stuff. Maybe do like a mid-year tarot card spread could be a good way to do that, to honor that, and whatever other ways you honor Litha. I know I would like to have gone camping. I had a camping trip planned, but now since I'm going to be camping all summer, I'm like, so I'm gonna introduce Courtney now, just because we're gonna go over more sound stuff in particular, since that's the theme for this month. But I want to be sure and like introduce her before we get all like zoned out in her sound bath. She does 2 physical in-person sound baths per month if you're in the area. So the first Friday is going to be at Meta, the Hot Yoga Studio in Salisbury. And then she does the second Monday at the Ocean Elements Salt Room. So it's like a hot salt sauna.
No, it's not hot.
Oh, okay.
You just get the benefits of the salt air for your lungs, and it's very healing.
That's cool. And then so it's not hot when you do it at Meta either, because I've been to that one, but they have an infrared heat for when they do heat the room up.
It's radiant heat. It's different than most heat.
Yeah, it's infrared.
It heats the bodies in the room and not the air or the things.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like the sun.
All right, Courtney, when did you start getting like into sound? Can you tell us a little bit about your sound journey and how you got here?
Well, I was doing my YTT training with Sarah, and it was at the end of the training, and we did a sound bath, and it just was we did vocal toning first, and it was the first time that I was ever able to sit still in my whole life and concentrate and feel calm. And I've had a lot of trauma, a lot of loss, a lot of grief, and it was the first time that I was able to go through those emotions with a bit of grace instead of re-traumatizing my body, which is what I'd done up until that point. So it was a beginning of a really, really extraordinary healing journey. And it also led me into sound, which I was already sort of studying anyway, but I didn't realize how deep down the rabbit hole you could go. And you could truly study sound your whole life, and you'd never learn it all.
Yeah, there's a lot of like little sub wormholes to go into, whether it's for medicine, like Western medicine with ultrasonic sound wave healing with instruments, scientific instruments, or it's the more metaphysical stuff. Then there's music theory. Like I've been doing music theory the past few years, and it's just like so much to it.
It is, and there's just layers and layers. There's such dimensionality to sound, and you can do a little bit, and you can really do a lot. It just depends on how much you want to do. And they say if you think of a bucket, and if you find your sound and you make your sound, every time you do, you'll put joy into your bucket. And every time you're angry, it sort of takes the joy out of your bucket. So making sounds keeps me from judo chopping people.
And it has a really good way of like clearing the room. You just like.
It does. And throughout our whole entire history, throughout antiquity, they've used sound as a means of healing and a way to balance out the body and our emotions, using cathartic. So if you are sad, you would want to meet that sadness. You can't just skip to joy. You can't just skip to happiness. You have to You have to cathartically feel that sadness so that you end up on the other end of the spectrum. There's a river through the sorrow that leads to the joy.
Right. That's why those spiritual therapies are so like moving, like you have the Tibetan throat singing or the Gregorian chants, and they do it oftentimes during these like dome-shaped rooms, which like create this more of a sound resonance chamber. So you're what did you call it? You called it I wrote it down, octave resonance.
Yes, this is a electromagnetic phenomena where if you play a C string on a violin over here and there's another violin over there, without a physical touch, that C string will play through the laws of octave resonance. There's like a wormhole that's connected, and that's what happens when I play the bowls. At every bowl that I play, you'll feel that through octave resonance on your body, and if there's any dissonance, it will quantumly entrain into a harmonic resonance through that harmonic ripple. So sound is a lower harmonic ripple than light and color. So it all falls on a harmonic. So the note C is on the same harmonic as the color red, and it's at our root, which is associated with the mother.
Well, I went ahead and switched slides. So the first slide here shows this is an excerpt from the book that my sound healing teacher wrote, Suran. And so his tradition is Tibetan. He's from Nepal. And so the metal bowls that you get in the Himalayan singing bowls, they're made with 7 metals, and they correspond to the 7 major planetary bodies, and also the 7 chakras or energy centers of our body. Now we have more than 7. There are more than 7 planets. These are the main ones, and then there's 7 major notes in an octave. So you have usually on C scale, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Or those are your sounds. So they align really well here. Most traditions are going to put the root at C and red at the beginning of this sort of.
And if you notice, the colors, the red, the green, and the violet are all composed of the same numbers, just rearranged. The 3, the 6s, and the 9.
Oh, you're right.
And if you add them together, 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 9 is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. So those are the 9s. And the other colors, so the yellow, which is 528 hertz, correlates to indigo, which is 852 hertz. And it's the same thing. It's the complementary and the contrasting colors. So if you were blue, you might need a little bit of orange because it's on a harmonic ripple, and it's going to they're going to cancel one another out. And if you have an illness in the green area, the antidote would be to play red or to make that red sound.
So it's interesting too because that corresponds to the fifths and music notes. So this slide that I have up, it shows exactly that, the color and the hertz that are associated with it. So that's all here if you guys want to take a look. The 396 of the root chakra, the 639 of the heart, and the 963 of the crown. So actually all of these numbers, when you add 3 of them up, they add up to either 3, 6, or 9 when you get down to the root and singular, just one number. So that is the solfeggio scale. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. The next slide I have is about sound specifically. So this little wheel, it's kind of confusing, but if you see the circle of fifths at all, it's a musical chart. This is one I found that was kind of cool because I like the way it, so if you start at C and you can follow this line over to F or follow this line over to G, those are harmonic sounds. So when you hear music and it has like a very pleasant sound, it follows the circle of fifths. So intervals of five or fourths or thirds or in different ways are appealing to us, to our ears. A neat thing that Courtney actually pointed out to me is this circle is very flat. It's representing like a flat circle, C going around and coming back to C. But what actually happens is you go from a mid octave C to a higher C to a then higher C. Like, so it's really spiral. It's not a flat circle. It's a spiral up, spiral down. We can do a different level of octaves. Kind of cool. It's a lot to it. This is the part of the sound. So
the octaves are interesting because they're halved at each point. So and then you would they would compound upon each itself. So when you listen to music, it's a spiral to God. It's a spiral really inward. So the golden ratio represents the path of least resistance, and that's what music and light and sound and color all take. Is if your body is soft and relaxed, then this abundant free energy will be able to permeate your whole system. But if you're tight and tense and taking shallow breaths, then you're really not the path of least resistance anymore, and light will not be able to move through you, and it'll get stuck in places, and that's what these bowls are good for, getting those stuck pockets of energy moving.
okay, so we talked about sound, now moving into color, right? So we can associate each of the chakras with the color and each of the notes with the color. But let's look at what sound and color have in common. They are both have a wavelength. They wave-like characteristics. So sound is a mechanical wavelength, something that you can physically feel the vibration of. Whereas light, you're not going to feel that unless you are real sensitive to electromagnetic. You can probably feel it, but it's not physical. It's electromagnetic. So the wavelength of light compared to the wavelength of sound are vary by tens of the magnitude is tens of orders of magnitude. So we're at the 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz for audible acoustic, and then 380 trillion to 760 trillion hertz for light. And that the visible light is where the colors come in. And
so light is really high vibrational, and then sound is a little bit lower vibrational, and then our physical bodies are even more dense. So these bowls speak to our metaphysical subtle body of color, and then they say that if we heal our emotional body, then that will heal our physical body. And that's with the use of color. So this C is on the same harmonic as red, the C note. And the F, the heart, is on the same harmonic as green.
Yeah, so that's where we make that sound and color relation. They're both wavelengths and energies. They're just different levels.
So the deeper the color, the red is going to be a very large, deep, low, more dense, and it's going to be farther from point source. But the higher we go, the closer we come to center, which is actually where we hold the most capacitance for energy. So that's why it's so important to go through all the whole spectrum that is you and all these emotions and all these colors. And they overlap. So through the laws of harmonics, the 11th harmonic is leading into the stable 12th and into the unstable 13th. So it's constant. These colors are bleeding into one another.
Right, they're on like a very gradual scale. They're not just like block red, block orange. You know, there's like variety in there.
Yeah, and you can't stay. You know, you can that's why it's so good to vocal tones. So you can oscillate through that whole entire spectrum, and you can heal your body through your own voice.
So we're going to be doing that together today. That's a little activity that we're going to do. Yes, please. We're going to be doing that together before our sound bath. So the next slide is solfeggio frequencies. These are the 9 tones derived from numerology that we were talking about earlier that they all add up to 3, 6, or 9. You can, I included a link on this slide here to a YouTube that plays all 9 of them in order from like lowest to highest. I listened to this several times, but you can find lots and lots of these on YouTube. I shared one in the New Moon Circles just today for healing, I think, DNA cell regeneration of 528 megahertz.
That's this bowl.
Is that the ROM? So the yellow bowl?
Mm-hmm. Ram.
Yeah. ROM. That's what they say in like Shiva temples.
So the solfeggio tones hold within them the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. And what's different about them is they hold the phi. So a circle, it doesn't contain the phi, and a spiral does. And the phi in music, it represents variety and change. And if nothing had this golden ratio, this phi expression, then every tree would be stick straight. We would all look exactly the same. We would all sound exactly the same. But because of this variant and these tones, these tones hold that variant. So it helps you go through change and transmutation.
It's awesome. So these ones, how do you feel? I know that like it's so different to be in a room with where Courtney is, to be in that room and listen to all these sounds. You can feel the physical vibrations. But you know, when you're listening to YouTube and stuff, are you still getting the same benefits from just listening through your earbuds or your speaker that's been digitalized? Is the question, are we still getting the vibrations?
I think that the act of vocal toning and the practice of vocal toning is extraordinarily important, and you don't need any of these bowls. You don't need to go out and spend all this money. You just need to learn this skill so that you can replace what your body's missing. But no, I don't know that it is the same, because the nature of the bowls is to carry the ripple out to its furthest extent, and a digitalized image of anything is a pixelated image of the whole. So you would only get probably, I don't know how many ripples you'll hear.
Right. So that's the benefit of being in the room with all those wonderful tools.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about this and show these graphics here because we were talking, Courtney and I were talking about the toroid, the donut shape that occurs around us. So most of us are familiar with the chakra systems, and we're going to get deep into it today. But you see with the chakras, we have 2 energy channels, the nadis, or channels of energy that sort of spiral through each chakra. And then at the top of the crown, it's going to go out and then around and down all around us and then back up and in before it spirals again. So I was looking at the caduceus. So you have this the medical caduceus. It's a staff. So you got your primary nadi or your Sushumna nadi, and then you have the two snakes. Kundalini, Kundala, it means coil in a Sanskrit type text. So Kundala, the snakes are coiled at the base and then they rise up. And then, so this idea of angels and angel wings is that part of the toroid shape, that donut shape that of energy that goes all around us. I kind of like had this realization like that maybe that's the angels, the angel wings, where that imagery comes from. So those energies.
It's the the ethereal part of us, the metaphysical part that comes before the physical part. Just because we can't see it, feel it, smell it, or touch it, well, some of us can't, doesn't mean that it's not more important than this physical stuff that we can see. And this energy field, if you understand the nature, the converse nature of this energy, how it is constantly spewing out of the top of our head, but it's coming through the bottom of our feet, and it's constantly conversely making its way out and making its way in. This is the simplex nature of the universe, to expand and conversely contract, just like every breath in and every breath out. So when we step on the ground, when we go out and we put our feet on the earth, this charge takes place, and we sort of give the energy back to the earth, and the earth gives us her energy. And when we heal our body and our ethereal field and our subtle field, then we ultimately heal the earth through this constant nature of giving and receiving. This is the centrifugal divergent when it goes out at a vector, and then it comes back in as the centripetal convergent. So there's this constant spin. It's like the spin on your bathtub when the water goes down. It's following the right-hand rule. It's following the path of least resistance. And that's what our energy wants to do.
Is that different if you're in the southern hemisphere?
Yeah, if you're down here on the other end of the earth, that spin will spin this way because it's centrifugally making its way back to that null point within the center of the earth. The giant magnet in the center of the earth that is creating the field of the earth around it, which protects us from being incinerated from the sun. Without this field of the earth, we wouldn't be able to breathe. We would just drift away.
So the earth has its own core and energy system and torus, like we have. And even if you're not sure if you feel this, or when you're in somebody's energy, like when you're too close and you're just like, that person's a little too close to me, even though they're not touching you, you can feel them in your energy field.
Oh yeah.
So I put a little nod to our friend Ardas here, the cosmic love funnel. This is what she calls it when we do our little kundalini with our thumbs up, and we're making that funnel shape with our arms. So we're tapping into that toroidal shape around us. So cosmic love funnel is a term that she gave me, and I love that one.
That's really cool.
The
converse of the toroidal field is the hyperboloid, which is the hourglass, the infinity shape. So they run parallel to one another, creating 90-degree angles, which is the vector-based mathematics that the donut is based on, which is the spiral in music. And that's how we can change. We can take the Krebs cycle of our stomach, which runs on a harmonic, or we can take the harmonic of a sunflower, and we can turn it into a musical symphony. And that's what Bach was doing. He was using these phi ratios in music, he was using the spirals.
Yeah, that's why that circle of fifths is so important in music, because to make something that sounds harmonious and pleasant to the ear, they're really following the same rules of nature.
It's interesting because every different culture uses a different interval of music. The Greeks used the 4, an interval of 4, and they were the ones that really began to use music as a cathartic nature. Whereas if they were angry, which is in the red zone, they would play green. They would first play that red, feel that anger, and then they'd play that green to balance it out.
So, vocal toning. I think it's a good time to get started with that. It's a 8:45. That'll give us 15 minutes to do vocal toning, and then like a full 30-minute sound bath if you guys are all good with that.
Yay.
Yeah. So this slide I have right up, it shows the chakra, and it has the biij mantra written next to it. So starting at the bottom, the base of red is Lam, Lam. Then we have Ram, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om, and usually silence or just what's left of the Om from the sixth chakra. Sometimes it's represented by just an NG, like the vibration that's still there, the silence, or the soaking in of the sounds that are left.
Yeah, so if you can get together in small groups and vocal tone, and if you can get your family to do this with you, the power of 2 similar frequencies. Remember, red and green are going to cancel one another out, but if we're all singing red, then it's going to amplify, and that's where abundance comes from. That's where free energy comes from, is using the power of harmonics and the 3s, the 6s, and the 9s.
I'm gonna see if I can get my boyfriend to come in here do this with me.
Yay.
So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna put myself on mute, and everybody's muted, so we can all like sing without canceling each other out. And Courtney, you have the instruments that make the notes, and you can kind of guide us in the mantras. They are on the screen if you need to read them, if you feel more comfortable reading them.
Oh, yeah, I know them.
No, I meant for everybody else.
Oh,
screen
yes, I can do that. So when we do these are very, very, very powerful seed sounds. The beginning is the sound that makes our intention leave our body. And the second sound, ah, is meant to bury the seed in the earth. And the is meant to pat it down and sort of rest in faith and trust that our intentions have been received by the universe. So when we make these sounds, you want to hold an intention in your mind and in your heart, and really sending out these powerful sounds that are going to quantumly make their way back to you through the walls of octave resonance. So the first sound, I'm gonna play the bowls a little bit with these sounds just so we get that free energy going. And when we make these sounds, try to make them come from the muscles in your stomach. The lower abdomen and the upper abdomen represent the flying up bandha, the Uddiyana bandha. You want to hold in the root, the mula bandha. And this is in between the front and the back excretion muscles. So this is just drawing up on the pelvic floor and using these muscles to make sounds amplify and to make them a little bit more stronger and not rely on so much of your voice. You don't want to strain your voice. You don't want to hurt your body. And remember, the path of least resistance. Our bandhas are locked, and when our spine is nice and tall, sitting each vertebrae on top of one another, then remember that light has the path of least resistance, and it's going to do what it came here to do, which is light up our body. And enlightenment comes from making these sounds and going through these phases of colors into more of from a macroscopic external worldly material perspective to a internal cosmic feminine perspective. So think of an intention you'd like to set. Sound plus intention equals healing. You can make a mudra, which is any hand placement. These are very powerful. I like to do the Gyan mudra, which is the thumb and the pointer finger placed at the knees, palms open. Just signifies our connection to the heavens, and our heart is that center point. So take a nice deep belly breath, really allowing the ribcage to expand, lifting up through the belly muscles and allowing the pelvis to open up. And as you exhale, you want to draw those muscles into the spine. So inhale nice and big. The first sound is Lam, L-A-M. Two more times, big breath. Deep breath. The second sound is for the sacral chakra. The color is orange. The hertz, 417 hertz, and the note is D. The sound is V. Om. The element is water. Big breath in. Om. Next sound is powerful. It's been known to regenerate DNA cells, and it has a powerful immune boosting technology within it. The color is yellow, 528 hertz. The musical note is E. Big breath in. The sound is Ram, R-A-M. when we start to get into these upper frequencies, it's going to rattle the snot out of your sinus cavities, and you may feel the urge to clear your throat or whatever you need to do. Make sure you do it because that's energy moving, and you don't want to stifle it. You don't want to block it. This is the anahata. This is the heart. 639 hertz, the musical note F. This is a powerful, powerful point. This is the center of our being. And the heart carries the strongest electromagnetic signature. So if you do anything at all, tune into your heart with the sound of ah or the sound yam. Big breath in. You can take one hand and put it on your heart. But it is important to do the high heart as a little higher pitch, same sound. Put your hand right here. This is a powerful immune booster. It is correlated to the thymus gland, and this is considered in many cultures the true center of the body. So big breath in, sound is yum. So I'm doing a lot of clearing in this area, and I think a lot of us are. So be gentle with the voice, be mindful of those squeaks and deficits in your voice. Those are areas where you can really pay attention to those sounds. Like I am going to really focus on the heart and the throat. This is where I tend to get a gap in my voice. So the next chakra is the throat. And this is a powerful chakra because this is when things become really manifested. We have the earth at the root, we have the water at the sacral, we have fire at the belly, and we have air at the heart, but we have sound at the throat. And this makes up the metaphysical triad, which leads into the physical pentat, which is all of life. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and that is sound. So when you make a sound, know that your voice is very powerful. And with intention, you can move mountains or you can destroy them. So use it with the best of intentions. And the sound for the throat is, gosh, hum, like ham. That's how I remember it because I like ham. So coming up into these higher pitches, be easy with your voice. Find your octave, which might be a lower G. Big breath in. The sound is hum. now. We're getting into the theta brainwaves. This is low beta, medium, high, alpha, and then theta. So if I start to not know what I'm talking about, it's because I'm into these higher frequencies and you lose your memory sometimes. But the third eye is a very important. This third eye should be called the first eye because technically the pineal gland, the eye is shaped like a lens, and it came first in utero way long before the eyes came. So when this eye is massaged through vocal toning, we are coming into the Trinity. We are coming into this small space, close to point center. And then this becomes thought. This is our thoughts. And remember, our thoughts create fields. They create seeds. And this thought really should precede the voice. See how they're all interwoven? So the sound for the third eye is Om. And you can either do 3 sounds, Om, silence, or Sham, whichever speaks to you. And bring your hands up to your head, because when you're stressed, the blood and the nutrients leave your brain. And this is a nice way to bring that energy and blood flow back up to your brain as you make this sound. Big breath in. This sound is Om. The last point is our crown. This, the heart and the root, are the Trinity, and they're all connected. They all hold the same numbers. It is a Trinity in color. And this point, actually, remember, it points up and shoots up and out. So we are receiving through this point, and we are also giving. And when we hold a state of gratitude, every 70 trillion cells on our body open up. So when I do this point, I like to think of one thing I'm grateful for, so that my cells truly receive this boundless love that is poured into us 24/7. This never ends. And you can either choose to be silent, or you can make the sound Om, or you can say Sham. Okay? But you want to go into your highest pitch, maybe even your falsetto. Okay? Big breath in. Om. In a moment of silence is the counterbalance to all sound, the point from which sound comes from. The source of all is silence. Now, if you have to use the restroom or anything, does anybody have to use the restroom before we begin? Because if so, I'm going to go.
I think we could take like a short break. I'm actually gonna go lay down in my bed for this next part.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Everybody get some water, get nice and comfy, get your blankets ready, and I'll meet you back here in what, 3 minutes?
Is Brad there? Is Brad there with you?
Yeah, he's here.
Brad, do you mind doing a thing where, I don't know if you know how to do it, but you can.
Well, he's not up here. I have to go get him. He's in the house.
To turn on original sound, because sometimes when you're doing the bowls, it cuts in and out.
Okay. Let me go get him.
Okay, cool, thanks. This is my first online sound bath. But it's fun having all the visual aids and everything.
One time I tried to do a chanting circle through Zoom with my friends, and that ended up being this strange kind of, it ended up because we played a chant. Everyone, we started at the same time. We were all in the same time zone. We were in the same town. But so everyone pressed play on the song, and then, but like we still heard a delay between us. So it was kind of like this weird round robin sound.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, but at the same time, occasionally there were these moments where it was like very like, I don't know, like layered and trancy, like there was all these hidden sounds that came out and so that was interesting.
Even just now when we were doing vocal toning, I had my earbuds in and I could, sometimes the sound would cut out, but sometimes it would just like get in, like I would really feel it. I don't know if anyone else felt that same way, or if you guys had earbuds in, I recommend that. Oh. Thanks, Cheryl. Look up. I have this like, oh. I've had this drum circle on Zoom, and the trick that we found out is to turn on original sound for the person, for everyone who's presenting. And I think that might help if we did that for at least for.
Did you hear?
What?
Did you try that, Brad?
What?
Original sound.
I'm trying to find like where the instructions are to do it. So I think you go to the Zoom screen, and there's like a little menu that shows like your mute and your video. I don't know if you're on your phone or on a laptop.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brad, really?
Yeah, he's doing it. I was just making sure.
Okay, so there's like a ... more, and then it's turn on original sound is in that menu. Are you getting it?
Yeah, I don't see where that is.
Are you on a laptop or a phone?
Laptop.
Okay, so do you see the Zoom menu where it's like participants, chat, video, mute, and that stuff?
Yeah.
So there should be a more part of the menu where there's more. Does it have that for you?
No.
Huh. Are you on an iPad?
No.
Okay, so yours should be similar to mine. I'm a host, but I got this more, and then
Yeah, I don't have one I don't have anything that says more.
Brad said if everybody puts their cell phone mute, it might be better.
Definitely, we're all going to be muted for sure. I just want to make sure we have the best possible sound for
Yeah, I don't
the.
see anything that says anything about audio.
Let me share like this screen that I'm on right now. Or we can just kind of go with it too if it's not simple. I remember when I had to figure it out, it was kind of complicated. I think we're good to go. I don't want to hold us up. I want us to get a good long sound bath. We got about 20 minutes right now, so I'm going to go ahead and mute and we can get started when Miss Courtney is ready. See you guys.
Okay, so just get nice and comfy. If you feel like dancing, feel free to dance. But if you want to just lay there, remember we're creating angles with our body. So when your body's perpendicular, you're running. When it's horizontal, it's perpendicular to this constant motion that we're always in all day long, moving, moving, moving. And when you can truly let your body settle, it goes to its full inertia, the full resting point where you cannot relax any farther. That's what you want. Now, we'll begin with your feet. Squeeze your feet and then relax your feet. Now squeeze your calves and relax your calves. Squeeze your thighs, relax them. Squeeze your glutes, let it go. Squeeze your belly, release. Make a fist, squeeze your shoulders up and relax. Make a scrunchy face, squeeze your muscles of your face and relax. And now knowing that difference between contraction and relaxation is how we shift from the left brain to the right brain. When our body is truly relaxed, we enter into the right brain, feminine cosmos, where we can allow and receive. So let the body truly unwind. Let the muscles let go away from the skeleton. Find your breath and allow that breath to move the whole body, coming in through the nose, down the throat into the belly, stretching the intercostals, relaxing as you exhale even deeper, allowing your jaw to soften, allowing the muscles around your eyes to release. Following the breath in, following the breath out. Breathe in the color red, exhale the color green, allowing those colors feel their way through your body. Breathing in red, exhaling green. Allowing your mind and your heart to connect to the power of your breath.
Hey, Courtney, I think the rain stick is canceling out the bowl sound.
It's too loud.
Thanks. That was, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
So lovely. Oh my gosh. Nothing like being in the room with you, but
Yeah.
definitely very nice, very soothing. Um, I had to cut us kind of short because we're right at about 9:30, and I just want to kind of integrate a little bit before letting us all go. Luckily, we don't have to all get in our cars and drive home or anything because we're already there. I guess that's one of the good things about doing this from home. There I am. So yeah, welcome. I have a little chart that I put together for the chakras. It'll be included in the PDFs here. All the information we talked about will be on the PDF. And then this is a recording, so it'll be on Zoom, or I'm going to upload it on YouTube, is where I've been putting them. I have some resources for you guys. The book that I mentioned by my dear friend and teacher Suren Srestra is available on Amazon. Images from the chakra slides are from Malatopia. Um, Courtney gave me some information about Jonathan Goldman and Sherry Edwards, so you can I have links about them, so you can visit their sites to explore more.
And Jill Matson.
Okay.
She's a really good source.
I will add her to the list when I PDF this. The thing you mentioned though before, the voice analysis, it was like nano voice.
Nanovoice.org.
Is
You can send your voice in, and it will she'll give you a printout of what you need, what frequencies you need to focus on. So it's like taking a multivitamin when you vocal tone, and when you do it with other people, it's like taking an extra strong vitamin.
So I couldn't find it. I found something called like Sound Health Options, and it was a product that was $60. That's not.
Oh, well, maybe it's been, you know how things get commercialized over time.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you could give me the link. I tried nanovoice.org and I couldn't find it. So hopefully we'll find that link and we'll get it in there. Maybe you can send.
Yeah, and vocal toning is all you really need to do, because that that your voice is a holographic image of your body, so it's a fractal of your whole. So you can really tell what's missing in your body through your voice. You can tell when you're sad. You can tell a lot of things if you really listen, and you can focus on those sounds.
I
And
would,
when you do the rocket ship, the true vocal toning is when you go, oh, and you really want to stay in that tone until your voice naturally cascades up. It'll tell you.
I wonder if you could like use a tuner like I use for my guitar or instruments to like tune my voice.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think you could. I just might have a hard time hitting the F note, so.
Yeah, that's where I've been focusing my energy, is the F. And also, it might not be the F that you need. It might be the complementary, the contrasting C. And it also might be the A or the B. So you might need C or B.
That's cool. So I would like to check out that nano voice and get the whole like analysis, voice analysis.
I know, it's so cool.
Does anyone have any input for questions for Courtney and I, or any input from tonight?
Thank you so much, Roma and Courtney. I wanted to add that when Robbie was having issues, I feel like it was like 2 years ago now, I started putting on sound healing therapy on the phone, and would like have him nap to it, and he recovered from his issues. He's not having as many issues anymore. And sometimes he's like, yeah, I don't even know what happened. And I'm like, yeah, I know what happened.
I'm definitely
Took care of you.
That's what music was meant to be for, is for healing,
Yeah.
not just entertainment.
So I think that those sound waves can somewhat move through. It's definitely when I'm in the room with you, it's a completely different experience. But some of those vibrations do come through
That's
through
good
the
to
digital
know,
ed.
though, that they're that powerful through the phone.
Yeah, sometimes when you were playing two bowls at once, they would cancel out, or the rain stick was really interfering. It's like without that original sound on, Zoom like picks one thing to listen to. You know, like it tries to turn off background noise, so that's where we were running into a little bit of that cancellation.
So the most important thing about sound therapy is the use of the binaural beat, which is the two colors. Because when you play them together, that creates a hemisync to the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. And that way you have an ability to vocalize your emotions.
That's cool. And like in music, you could take three notes together to create a chord, and they're like,
Bum bum bum. Yep. It's a 1, 3, and a 5.
so Kellen, your hair looks so pretty and straight. Did you straighten it?
I did. Thank you so much, Courtney, for that beautiful sound bath.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks, Roma, for hosting as always. I can't wait to see the recording and the PDF.
Cool. Next month,
So exciting.
next month's going to be another fun experience. It's a Thunder Moon or Father's Moon, and we have our first male guest. We're going to have Hamilton Garces. I'm not really sure how to say his last name.
Oh, I love him. He's so sweet.
Yeah, he's going to do something similar. He's going to do his shamanic sound stuff, and we're going to do some breath work with him. He's going to guide us through some breath practices. He does like Wim Hof breath and
I do Wim Hof every day.
oh, well, that
And I take cold showers.
we can only do so much each month, but that'll be for next month. And yeah, if you guys want to support at all, I have a newsletter that comes out once a month. You can subscribe there. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Join the group where I just actually added today. I created a Spotify playlist just for moon stuff. So that's fun stuff. And then if you feel like donating, I have left my contact information for that. And with that, I think we will call it a night.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Namaste.
Namaste. Okay.
Marska Hargate.